Poor single dad helps stranded twin girls, unaware. Their father is the judge who held his fate. The rain hammered against Marcus Chen's windshield like bullets of ice. Each drop a reminder of how far he'd fallen. His 10-year-old pickup truck sputtered along the dark highway, the check engine light glowing like a tiny amber accusation on the dashboard. It was past 11 on a Thursday night, and Marcus was driving home from his second shift at the warehouse, the job that barely kept the lights on in the tiny apartment he shared with his daughter Emma. His phone buzzed. Another text from his lawyer. Hearing tomorrow at 9 a.m., Judge Morrison presiding. Be on time, Marcus. This is your last chance. Marcus's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Judge Richard Morrison, the man who would decide whether Marcus kept custody of Emma or lost her to his ex-wife's wealthy new family, the same judge known for his zero-tolerance approach to fathers with financial difficulties. Marcus had spent 3 years rebuilding his life after the business failure that cost him everything. But would it be enough? The rain intensified, turning the road into a river of reflections. Then through the downpour, Marcus saw them, 2 figures standing beside a black luxury sedan with its hood up, smoke billowing from the engine. Even from a distance, he could see they were young women soaked to the bone, their red tops clinging to them as they huddled under the raised hood. Every instinct told Marcus to keep driving. He was already late. Emma was waiting at the neighbor's house. Tomorrow's hearing could determine his entire future, but his mother's voice echoed in his head. You help people when they need it. Marcus, that's what makes you human. He pulled over. As Marcus approached with his emergency flashlight, he realized the 2 women were identical twins, probably in their early 20s. They looked at him with a mixture of relief and wariness. Card trouble? Marcus asked, keeping his distance to appear non-threatening. It just started smoking, one of them said, her voice shaking. Whether from cold or fear, Marcus couldn't tell. We've been here for 20 minutes. No signal. Marcus examined the engine. Even in the rain, he could smell the burnt coolant. Blown radiator hose. You're not going anywhere in this car tonight. The twins exchanged worried glances. Our father is going to kill us, the other twin muttered. We were supposed to be home an hour ago. I can give you a ride to the nearest gas station. There's one about 15 miles up the road. You can call from there. The twins hesitated. A strange man late at night on a deserted road. Marcus understood their fear. He pulled out his phone, showing them his home screen, a picture of him and Emma at her 9th birthday party. I'm a single dad. I have a daughter. I just want to help you get somewhere safe. You can sit in the back, keep the doors unlocked, whatever makes you comfortable. Something in his eyes must have convinced them because after a whispered conversation they agreed. In the truck, Marcus turned the heat up full blast. The twins introduced themselves as Sophia and Isabella Morrison. Marcus's heart skipped a beat at the surname, but Morrison was common enough. It couldn't be. Our father is probably losing his mind, Sophia said, finally getting signal as they drove. He's very protective, especially after our mom died. I'm sorry, Marcus said sincerely. I lost my wife too. Car accident 3 years ago. Isabella looked at him with sudden sympathy. That must have been hard. Do you have family to help? Just my daughter. Emma, she's 9. Marcus smiled despite everything. She's the reason I keep going. They drove in comfortable silence for a moment before Sophia asked, What do you do, Mr. Chen? Marcus, please. I work at a warehouse, and I'm trying to start a small handyman business on the side. He didn't mention tomorrow's hearing. The custody battle, the mounting legal fees. Our father always says you can tell a man's character by how he treats strangers when there's nothing in it for him, Isabella said quietly. Marcus pulled into the gas station. Let me help you call someone. As Sophia dialed, Marcus bought them hot coffee from the vending machine. Within minutes, a black SUV screeched into the parking lot. A man in his late 50s emerged. his face etched with worry that immediately transformed into relief when he saw his daughters. Judge Richard Morrison, Marcus's blood turned to ice. The man who would determine his fate tomorrow was embracing his daughters not 20 feet away. The judge hadn't seen him yet, partially hidden behind the truck as he was. Marcus could leave, slip away before the recognition, before the awkwardness, but Sophia was already waving him over. "Daddy, this is Marcus Chen. He saved us. We would have been stranded in that storm all night if he hadn't stopped." Judge Morrison turned, his hand extended for a handshake. Then he froze. Marcus saw the recognition flash across his face. "Mr. Chen, Your Honor." The twins looked between them, confused. "You two know each other?" "I have a hearing in Judge Morrison's courtroom tomorrow morning," Marcus said quietly. "Custody case?" The air grew thick with tension. The judge's expression became unreadable, his professional mask sliding into place. "I see. Well, Mr. Chen, thank you for helping my daughters. I'm in your debt." "No debt, Your Honor. I just did what anyone should do." "Not anyone," Isabella interjected. "3 cars passed us before you stopped." Judge Morrison studied Marcus for a long moment. "Nevertheless." "Sophia, Isabella, get in the car. Mr. Chen, I'll see you tomorrow at 9. As Marcus drove home, his mind raced. Had he just made things worse? Would the judge think he'd staged this somehow? Or would seeing him help his daughters make a difference? The courtroom was exactly as Marcus remembered, cold, imposing, with wood paneling that seemed to absorb hope. His ex-wife Jennifer sat with her new husband, a corporate attorney who looked like he'd never missed a mortgage payment in his life. Their lawyer was already presenting their case. Marcus's financial instability, his long work hours, his inability to provide the stable environment Emma deserved. Judge Morrison listened impassively, making notes. When it was Marcus's turn to speak, his lawyer presented their evidence. Marcus's improved finances, his clean record, Emma's excellent grades, her stated preference to stay with her father. Then Jennifer's lawyer brought out their weapon. "Your Honor, Mr. Chen worked 16-hour days across 2 jobs. His daughter is left with neighbors most evenings. He missed her school play last month due to work. He can barely afford their apartment. How is this stability?" Marcus felt his case crumbling. Every point was technically true. He did work constantly. He had missed that play because his truck had broken down and he'd had to work a double shift to cover the repair. Judge Morrison leaned back. "Mr. Chen, stand please." Marcus rose, his heart pounding. "Tell me about last night." "The truth." Marcus blinked. "Your Honor?" "Humor me. What happened on Highway 47 last night around 11 p.m.? Jennifer's lawyer stood. "Objection, Your Honor. What does this have to—" "Overruled. Answer the question, Mr. Chen." Marcus took a breath. "I was driving home from my second shift. I saw 2 women stranded in the rain with a broken-down car. I stopped to help them. You were already late. You had this hearing in the morning. Why stop?" "Because they needed help, Your Honor, because that's what you do. Even when it costs you? Even when you have your own problems?" "Especially then, sir. My mother always said that your character isn't defined by what you do when it's convenient, but what you do when it's not." Judge Morrison nodded slowly. "And did you know who these women were?" "Not until after, Your Honor. Not until their father arrived at the gas station." A murmur ran through the courtroom. Jennifer looked confused. Her lawyer was frantically whispering to her. "Your Honor," Jennifer's attorney began, "I don't see how—" Judge Morrison held up his hand. "Let me be clear. Last night, Mr. Chen helped 2 stranded strangers in a storm. He made himself even later getting home to his daughter. He bought them coffee from his own pocket, and based on the financial statements we've reviewed, I know that pocket isn't deep. He did this not knowing there was any benefit to himself. In fact, when he discovered those strangers were my daughters, he could have fled. But he didn't. He stayed and made sure they were safe." The judge looked at Marcus directly. Mr. Chen, I've reviewed hundreds of custody cases. I've seen wealthy parents who provide every material, comfort but no emotional presence. I've seen parents who look perfect on paper, but are absent where it matters. And I've seen parents who struggle financially but are rich in the things that actually matter to a child. He turned to the court reporter. Let the record show that this court has reviewed all evidence, testimony, and financial documents. The court notes that while Mr. Chen faces financial challenges, he has demonstrated steady improvement in his circumstances. More importantly, he has demonstrated the kind of character and values that are fundamental to good parenting. Judge Morrison's gavel came down. Custody remains with Marcus Chen. However, I'm ordering family counseling for all parties to ensure Emma maintains a healthy relationship with both parents. Mrs. Henderson, Mr. Chen is not preventing you from being a mother to Emma, but Emma has clearly expressed where she feels most at home. This court will not remove a child from a loving, stable parent simply because another household has a higher income. Marcus's knees nearly buckled. His lawyer grabbed his arm to steady him. Furthermore, the judge continued, I'm disturbed by the implication that financial wealth equals better parenting. Mr. Chen works 2 jobs to support his daughter. He sacrifices his time and comfort for her well-being. That's not instability, that's dedication. Case closed. Outside the courtroom, Marcus leaned against the wall, trying to process what had happened. He heard footsteps and looked up to see Judge Morrison approaching, now without his robes, just a father in a simple suit. Your Honor, Richard, please. We're not in court now. The judge extended his hand. Marcus shook it. I didn't help your daughters to influence the case. I need you to know that. I do know that, Marcus. That's exactly why it mattered. Richard sighed. I see a lot of ugliness in my courtroom. People at their worst, fighting over children like their property. Last night, I saw my daughter safe because a man with every reason to keep driving chose to stop. It reminded me what this job is really about, protecting children by recognizing good parents when I see them. He pulled out a business card. This is my brother-in-law's number. He runs a construction company. They're always looking for skilled workers and he pays well. Tell him I sent you. No guarantees, but you deserve a fair chance. Marcus stared at the card, his throat tight. Why? Because Sophia was right. Character is what you do when there's nothing in it for you. You showed me yours last night. Now let me show you mine, Richard smiled. Besides, my daughters have been talking about the nice man with the truck all morning. Apparently you gave them good advice about their college applications. I just told them what I tell Emma. Find something you love. Then find a way to get paid for it. Simple wisdom. The best kind, Richard paused. You're a good father, Marcus. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. 3 months later, Marcus sat in the audience at Emma's school play, the one she'd written herself about a girl whose father was her hero. He'd made it to every rehearsal, thanks to the steady day job at the construction company that paid twice what the warehouse had. In the row ahead of him sat Sophia and Isabella Morrison, who'd become unlikely friends with Emma after the girls had asked to meet. The daughter of the man who helped their father sat beside them, and when Emma took her bow, Judge Morrison turned around and smiled at Marcus. She's talented, Richard said. Gets that from her dad, I suspect. Marcus smiled back. She gets her kindness from her mother, but I'm trying to teach her the rest. You're doing more than trying, Marcus. You're succeeding. As Emma ran to hug him after the show, Marcus thought about that rainy night on Highway 47, how close he'd come to driving past, how one decision, one moment of choosing compassion over convenience, had changed everything. Dad, Emma whispered as she hugged him. Did you like it? I loved it, sweetheart. I loved every second. And in that moment, with his daughter in his arms and a future that finally looked bright, Marcus understood what his mother had always meant. Helping people wasn't about what you got back. It was about who you became in the process. But sometimes, just sometimes, doing the right thing brought its own rewards.